You already have the drivers meeting? Cool. Yep. Sounds good.
Welcome to round 1 of Tachycardia season 14, the launch of the Triple Crown Challenge. The atmosphere is charged and the grid is stacked. We are moments away from green flag racing.
Up front in Class A, it's Otis Winston who's grabbed pole. He was in the mix all of last season, and now he starts this one with a statement. P1 among the fastest drivers in the league.
This is an elite Class A field too. Only the highest scorers from last season made the cut for this round. It's a grid full of heavy hitters, and Winston knows he's got no breathing room behind him.
Over in Class B, GT3, it's Zachary ML leading the way. He's been looking sharp in preseason, and now he's got the perfect launch pad to make his mark.
PT3 is where the big shakeups will happen this season. Every single round, drivers can move up or down based on performance, promotion to Class A or relegation to GT4. It all hangs in the balance every lap.
Meanwhile, in GT4, Brian Witzig has taken pole in what some might call the rookie class, but don't expect a tame race here.
G4 may be the entry point, but it consistently brings some of the most exciting, unpredictable racing. These drivers are hungry, aggressive, and out to prove they belong.
3 classes, 1 track, and a whole season of battles ahead. The Triple Crown Challenge begins now. Let's get racing.
Alrighty, I guess I could do some commentating here for this round 1 of Tachycardia Racing Season 14. We're at the beginning of lap 1. We got Otis Winston in front, followed by Colin Heil, and right behind him we got Ryan King. Over in the GT3 series, we now got also Tyson leading that field. Kind of all on his own, follows behind about 9 right now. And then over in the GT4 series, we got, actually, it looks like maybe we lost Zachary. Hold on. Zachary there stuck back in traffic. And with the GT4s, looks like maybe he's trying to make some way past there. Yep, finally gets past Keaton Rossi there in the GT4s. Oh, and we got major contact there in that turn between, what was that, Zachary ML. We'll have to go back to the replay on that one, but I think that is definitely going to bring out the green flag. That is for sure. Or the yellow flag, not a green flag. Yellow flag, yellow flag, yellow flag. Hear my yellow flag? That's cool. Oh. He's on the yellow, yellow, yellow. Can't hear that at all. They're slowing.
You want to do independent yellow flags for each class? Well, maybe we deal with that next time.
Alright, definitely been having some technical difficulties here, but we've got that yellow flag out. So what we're going to do is we're going to gather that field back together here and get ready for another round. Looks like we got major damage to that number 19 car there. I'm pretty sure also we had to have someone to tow in. Let's see. So keep Rossi. I don't know if that's who he made contact with. It looks like Keaton Rossi's trying to catch up to the rest of the field here. Yeah, looking starting here. We got Ryan King out in front with the LMP2s, followed by Otis there in second, Kylan Heil in third. And then leading the GT3s, looks like we got Tyson Miller. Then leading the GT4s, we got Eric Reynolds, Ryan Witzig, and bringing up the rear, Keaton Rossi after that massive wreck. So he's got it back over. It looks like we'll go green here.
Will we be passing pit lane? Probably 1/4 lap to pit lane. Okay, everyone will have an opportunity to pit on this pass on the pit lane, and then we'll be going green following that. So we're expecting it.
So as I'm sure you heard over the broadcast, we're going to be waiting until we get all past the pits. That way we can get all these beaten up cars fixed up and ready to go here for kind of a round two. Still got 33 minutes remaining in this race, so maybe a long one for some of these drivers. But while we're on this yellow flag, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these liveries. So here we got Colin Heil running a nice blue and orange scheme. Got some flowers on the back. I'm not too exactly sure that sponsor is. In front of him, though, I want to say we got...
Stick right.
Otis running that nice black peaking scheme. Let's see if actually we get a better camera angle on these. We might have to go to the mixed view here, see what our cameramen can do. Let's look at them to come past here. Yellow, black, and we'll call it pink scheme there. Very nice, very nice. Let's check out now these GT3 cars. Let's check out Tyson here. Tyson in that 40, running that Corvette, running that Barbie scheme, representing. You must have been a Boppenheimer fan back then. And right behind them in the all chromed red. Must not have been able to find any sponsors, but by golly, is he shining. We got Matt Reinhold. And then followed by them, the one causing some chaos, we then have Zachary Amell. So all these drivers who are going to need to get pit are probably going to come in here. I'd be surprised if anyone stays out. Looks like we got damage to most, and I know everyone probably needs fuel to get through this race. So we'll see what kind of decision these drivers make. So there we have it. We have all of the GT3s pitting, all of the GT4s pitting, but surprisingly, all of the LMP2s staying out. I'm curious to see how that plays out. I'm not kind of surprised there. No one's going for those fresher tires, nor making sure they get fuel to make it to the end of the race. All these drivers are here aggressive. The drivers you have in the LMP2 are our top scorers from last season. Right now we're looking at, I want to say, Otis. But there's Colin Heil. He was the season 13 champion. Beat out Otis, who's now currently in front of him by a single point. After 10 weeks, it all came down to one race, and 1 point made the difference. One racer we don't have from that season right here, who is in this class, but wasn't able to make it, is Hunter Smith. He will be scored last for this race. And then bringing up the rear is Ryan there, now currently in first. So it looks like we have the LMP, or the GT4s, coming up, and we're going to be going green here.
We're getting the groups back up. Okay, we are basically green on here. All right. Countdown. 3, 2, 1, now.
Alright, we're back with this green flag racing here, following Colin Heil in the LMP2, following a little bit behind Ryan King. Looks like Ryan King got pretty much the jump. Right behind them is Otis. LMP2 is quite evenly spaced out, but here we are coming into the first braking zone. Ryan King locking up a bit, allowing Colin to get right up on his tail. Slowing up Colin. Now we got Otis right on Colin's tail. These LMP2s, like I said, these are some of our most talented races here at Tachycardia, and they are definitely showing it, and they are fighting. Let's see what our helicopter team has in here. Oh, Colin trying to take that outside lane. Oh, but Ryan pushes him a little bit. And looks like still Ryan coming out on top, but Colin is fighting, and I think Otis is also just waiting for these two to figure it out so he can strike. But looks like Colin's pulling away, pulling out of that slipstream, currently taking the lead as we go into this next turn. And he's going to try to outbrake who here? Otis. Otis slips by Ryan, and so now we got Colin Heil in first, Otis Winston in second, but no, Ryan comes back after Otis to lock up and to now follow the LMP2s to a Colin in first, Ryan in second, and Otis in third. Going back to the GT3s, it looks like we have Tyson out here on his own. Looks like he may have spun at one point. So let's go ahead and see if we can find Matthew Reinl also kind of on his own. And then where's Zachary? Yeah, GT3 is quite spaced out at the moment, so I wouldn't expect to see much action from them here for a little bit. But going back to the GT4s, looks like we got Keaton Rossi out in front of the GT4s, followed by then Eric, who is also quite spaced out from then Brian bringing up the rear. Oh, actually, Brian isn't too far from Eric, so we'll have to see how these two play out. I know Brian was kind of the quicker in practice and qualifying, but Eric does have quite a bit more seasons under his belt, so that experience may shine in just keeping it consistent. But let's go ahead back for those LMP2. And quite the fight still going on. Looks like Colin's still out in front, followed now by Otis in second and Ryan in third. But Otis is looking to strike. He gets a good exit off of the turn, but he does just not have the best driving line going through this part of the track. Sorry, I'm not super familiar with this part of the track. We're on Le Mans. We got 33 turns that these racers. Oh, Colin hitting the curb, going wide, locking up. This is Otis's chance to get back. I would not be surprised if Colin does not receive, or does receive a slowdown there. That was quite a cut, but he may be waiting for one of those slower parts of the tracks to hopefully make up that time. Also looks like Otis Winston currently with the fastest lap of the race at a 5:28. Oh, Ryan missing the turn. A lot of the racers have been struggling with that turn. Going back to the GT3s, we have Tyson still kind of out on his own there, way behind. Looking for Matthew there as well. And then Zachary, it looks like Zachary in the middle. Not too far behind Matt, but certainly not much racing action going on in the rear right now. Going back to those LMP2s, that's definitely the excitement of today's race so far. We got Otis in the slipstream with Colin down this long back stretch. I'm sure we're going to see Otis pull to the inside. Getting that slipstream, trying to outbrake his opponent, Colin. Oh, Colin spins him! Oh, we're going to have to go back for the replay on that, but that may be a pending penalty.
Okay, we got yellow flag. LMP leader. Alright, I'm going out up here before this game. Hitting the pit speed limiter. Okay, we are out of the second kink, forming up.
Looking at the replay here, see what may have happened. Otis definitely out in front, currently his turn. Otis just doesn't make it stick though. That was actually, Otis just did not have enough braking, came out wide into Colin's path. Colin even tried to give him as much room as possible. So it looks like I don't think any penalty will be given, and that's going to leave Otis packing up the rear of the LMP2s for this next restart.
All right, Otis and Colin, are your cars clearing to continue racing? Yeah, we are good to race here. Are we good? 1 second, checking.
We are checking.
Okay, go ahead and line up, prepare for a restart. GT4 drivers, can you confirm you're all set?
So we got the whole field back together here, so it looks like we're going to be ready to go green again. Let's go ahead and follow our race leader. Let's see how this start goes.
Okay, race leader on your signal, you're clear to go.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
And we're back green for round one. Colin with a huge jump. Ryan actually looks like getting held up by Otis there, falling back to those GT3 cars. Looks like we got Matthew Reinhold now back out in front, followed by Zachary Amell. Oh, Tyson with a huge lunge to the inside. Can he make it stick? And he does to take second place for the GT3s. Ball now back to those GT4s. Looks like we got Keaton Rossi now out in front leading that. Those three, followed then by Brian and then Eric. Keeping it tight there. Back to the front. We then now have, looks like Colin now getting quite a big lead over his LMP2 counterparts. Those Ryan and Otis currently just fighting, allowing Colin to just get away, but I am sure that they are going to catch back up. Looks like Ryan actually has a good run there through that section of the track. And now coming up on Colin real fast, real quick. So Colin's definitely not out of the woods yet. Ryan now just looking for room, looking to the inside. What a move! This is Ryan now fighting now in first for LMP2. I'm telling you, these drivers really can put it together when they need to. And now we got Ryan out in front, followed by, oh, I am so sorry. That wasn't Ryan with the amazing move. That was Otis Winston with the amazing move. We got Otis Winston now out in front, followed by Colin Heil, then Ryan King for the LMP2s. For the GT3s, we have then Matthew Reinhold, followed by Zachary Amell, but Zachary Amell and Tyson locked in a fight here. Let's see how this turns out. Tyson taking the inside over those rumble strips, not the fastest, but lading on the brake, still keeping it with Zachary Amell, still keeping it with him. Looks like Ryan bringing in the fastest lap right now. Those times aren't very accurate, as I don't know if we've had a full green flag run yet to really show who has that fastest lap. Zachary might be pulling away for Tyson for the moment. Checking back on those GT4 cars. Looks like we got Brian and Eric still fighting it out. Looks like Eric may have locked up a little there, allowing Brian to get back, but I'm sure he's going to come back striking and striking hard. And Keaton currently leading that GT4 series with quite a bit of room between him and the other two. Now it looks like Otis currently keeping his distance away, trying to just pull away there. As long as he keeps it clean, I think he can do it. Looks like we got just 0.8 tenths of a second between him and Colin, and Ryan King following 4 seconds though behind the leader. I wonder what maybe happened there. Oh, Ryan struggling with those rears, locking up, getting swirly. He just trying to get back in a groove, I'm sure, after that restart, just trying to figure out where he needs to be on the track, get his mind back in place, and I think he'll be able to get back up there with those other two. To remain, we do have one caution that can be played out, one remaining caution, so there is a chance that we may stack up this field one more time before this race is over. Oh, Tyson going off track there in the GT3s after gaining some huge ground on Zachary Amell. We'll see if he can recover from that. Falling back there on Otis, though, who's still leading. Now a second, almost 2 seconds ahead of Colin. He's certainly finding his groove, certainly pulling away. Colin's going to have to find something here to be able to catch up with Otis. Ryan King also now following 7-8 seconds behind the leader. This is certainly just not Ryan's king of race after that restart. Started off strong, but those restarts just can sometimes get those racers in a different set of mind. They get out of that groove, and sometimes it just takes a little bit to find it back. Headed back now to the GT3 cars. And we got Matt still leading them, but not too far behind. We got Zachary and Mill. You can see Matt there just at the top of your screen. Lap for those GT3 cars at 4 minutes 5. Tyson's still on Zachary Mill's rear there. He is not letting him go and still staying big in that rearview mirror there for that number 19 car. Back to the LMP2s here. We got Otis. Let's go ahead and see if we can get the chase cam. These LMP2s are definitely the fastest of the field. That's why they get in Class A. And it's either hitting excess or probably, I wouldn't be surprised to see around 200, close to 200 at the end of this stretch. They're fast, they're light, they're small, but as you see, they're real fragile and easy to toss them around. A little broadcast clip there. Seconds behind Otis there. He's staying right there. So I think both these racers have kind of found their groove, found their consistency. But Collins just needs to find something that Otis isn't seeing right now in order to really make up those 2 seconds before the race. Same with Ryan King. He just continues to fall further and further back. Oh, huge lockup out of column there. That's going to cost him. That's going to cost him big time. Looks like that lockup here. About a second there, and that's definitely just, you know, as a racer, you're frustrated now, you're upset, you just can't believe it, you only got a third of this race left, and you just know you can't make those kinds of mistakes. All Paul needs to do now is just, ignore what just happened, try to get back in that zone. There's still 13 minutes to go here in this race, plenty of time for the leader ahead of him, Otis, to make those mistakes too. So this race certainly is not over. White space. It looks like these GT2 guys have just really found their groove and found their space. Kind of the same story there. We got Eric there in 8th place out of the whole grid. You can see there, kind of in the distance, you got Ken Rossi. Ryan everyone has kind of found their groove. You can see definitely where kind of everyone's speed is. And on one of these longer tracks, it's not surprising. A lot of these racers have never raced this track before, and as someone who's raced new tracks before, it can be really difficult to learn a new track. You can see you're basically still learning the track as you're racing. So those who have raced the track certainly have the advantage over those who have not. Going back to Otis though, bringing the first clean fastest lap for those LMP2s. Otis just keeping it clean through here. Buttoned up, definitely found his line. He may have let the championship get away from him last season, but I think that has just fueled his determination for this season to just win that triple crown. Colin now 4.5 seconds behind Otis. And Ryan in the LMP2. Now 14 seconds behind the leaders. So yeah, really raced out here, so not super much to commentate. We'll go ahead and just go to the TV crews and let them show you if anything exciting is happening. Oh, I spoke too soon. Zachary and Mel catching up to Matthew. Matthew must have had some sort of lockup or something somewhere, but this, folks, just got interesting. So we'll keep an eye out on these two. Looks like Zachary now in that tow, pulling up to that rear of Matthew. This is gonna be a fact. Matthew is one of the best defensive drivers, though, in the grid, and certainly one of the most difficult to try to outbrake. So it'll be interesting to see how, after Zachary kind of pulling out of that tow a little early, what he can do here. Oh, Matthew digs a little deep, but so does Zachary as well. Zachary in that gravel just can't get the power down, allowing Matthew to stay in position in the lead of that GT3 class. I'm sure, though, Tyson now is not too far behind now with these two fighting. Maybe we see Tyson there within striking distance. And if those two continue to fight throughout the next 9 minutes, I am sure you'll see all of the GT3 class in the mix fighting for that first position there. And there we have it. Tyson's now in the picture, making himself big there in the rearview mirror of that number 19 Porsche. These GT3s, like I said, this is going to be throughout the season where you see the most movement. You're going to see different racers in this class as, you know, people get bumped up from GT4 and people get bumped down from the LMP2 series. So it's going to be exciting. There's going to be different racers, different things happening each time here. Ryan King here, who's now dropped a minute behind the leader. So just pull away here. Ryan King, yeah, looking rough here. Heck, the GT3's now catching here. Let's see if there's maybe any damage. Maybe they went wide, maybe a wreck of some sort. Gotten right grass, and sometimes it can take a real long time getting that thing back on the track, especially that low, easy to bottom out. Tyson, unfortunately, has kind of been there with Zachary all race long, but has just never found the speed nor the opportunity to get past that Porsche. He's now only got 5 minutes to do so. Tyson could be definitely way later on that braking, but he, as you've seen kind of previously, just is not finding those consistency through those turns, and I think that's right now where Zachary really has the advantage. As you see there, Tyson making up a lot of that time in those braking zones, but has a hard time getting the power down after 45 minutes on this track. Those tires are certainly gasping for grip, so it can be a little bit harder. You got to start judging the throttle a little bit more as the race goes longer and longer. And there we have it. The leader's taking the white flag here. So, Zachary going wide. Tyson executing well on that turn. Might be able to make up some ground here. Looks like, looking at the leaderboard there, looks like not much happening there in that LMP2 series. Looks like after kind of that long run, Collins just kind of settled at 5 seconds behind the leader. Ryan King, definitely something going wrong there. May have to get an interview after this to see what maybe happened there. So the most action looks like we have chance of something happening here is these GT3s. Although looking at these GT4 cars, looks like Brian and Eric are going at it. So let's look here. We got Brian now in 9th, with then Eric farther. Never mind, I think I was just watching those LMP3. He's only 3 seconds behind, but in the GT4, 3 seconds is definitely a lot longer than in those LMP2s. Here we are back to that GT3 class. All kind of tight, but just no one has been able to find a way to get past one another. As soon as they get close, just losing it. But I can feel, I'm sure, Tyson now just looking for a move, feeling that sense of desperation. But Zachary right now just keeping it clean. And as long as he doesn't make any mistakes through here, but Tyson with a great exit. One last long straightaway here for Tyson to stay in that toe and to maybe make a move going into the next tight corner. There he is. There's that toe. We're going to have to see right here what Tyson does. Maybe pulling out a little early. Looking for his opportunity. Losing the toe though. That Porsche just with the higher top speed. And Tyson just isn't able to get close enough to be able to execute, but staying on him, looking for it. Oh, but Zachary loses it coming out. He gets a bit of that gravel, tries getting that power down, but Tyson given a slowdown penalty. What did we just witness? What just happened? Oh, we're going to have to go back and review that one. I didn't see any fault on the Corvette there, but maybe there was something I didn't see or notice there. So Zachary now settling there in 2nd place for the GT3s. Tyson in 3rd place for the GT3s. And Matthew going to be taken home first for those GT3s. Let's go ahead and go back to our leader here. Here's our leader coming now to the front stretch as he disappears from our broadcast. Talent of this individual that he has is disappearing. And there it is across the finish line. Otis Winston going to be taking home the 1st place of round 1 of the Triple Crown Challenge. It's followed then by Colin Heil. And then Ryan falling quite far behind of his LMP2 counterparts. That may have not been the race. This is a long track. A lot of different finish lanes. So hold on, something could still happen here. Going back now to those GT3s, seeing if anything has a chance of happening there. And there we see Otis Winston, the race leader in those LMP2s, catching up to those GT4s. Can always be a little scary once you're getting to those slower cars. You never know exactly what they're going to do, so you just hope they stay out of your way and let you by. There's Colin going through that same chicane here. So I think the previous white flag wasn't the right white flag, just due to the distance these cars are running and us really never getting some clean full laps down. Looks like, unfortunately, we have had a retirement from the race. Tyson Miller having to retire that Corvette after some struggling. Don't know if he got into a wall or something. Well, it looks like Tyson Miller has retired from this race. There we have it, folks. I believe that GT4s have received their checkered flag, so we're just waiting for those LMP2s to come back around, and that will be it for this race. Actually, hold on. Did they receive the checkered flag, or did they just run out of fuel? I'm sorry, I think the GT4s have run out of fuel. But there it is, the checkered flag. And there is your race winner, Otis Winston, for the LMP2 series. Quite a dominant session, not many mistakes, and just really able to capitalize on the mistakes of others there. Let's go ahead and now to Matthew Reynolds. Going to be bringing home that checkered for those GT3s if he comes back around, as long as he keep it clean. But anything can happen on this last lap here. Zachary Emil certainly within striking distance. So want to keep it straight, want to keep it good there. And those GT4s, unfortunately, yeah, they have run out of fuel. And they are there. That is their race. They will be scored as such. But the GT3s now going around those GT4s. And that's going to make it to where I believe Keaton Rossi, who I'm sure took some fuel earlier, is going to actually bring home the green, or that trophy, first place trophy for the GT4 series. That is their race. So once again, great battles throughout the race, definitely in that LMP2 series. And just really, really excited to see what happens at the continuation of this season at next round, week 2. So thank you everyone for joining us on this broadcast. And actually, I am so sorry. Those GT3s still haven't finished. Let's give them a chance first before we say goodbye. Matthew keeping it clean. Onto the home stretch here. And that's going to do it. There it is. Matthew bringing home the gold trophy for the GT3, followed by Zachary. And then unfortunately bringing home third there is Tyson with a... Oh, he's back out of the pits. He didn't retire, but still going to be bringing home that third place for those GT3s. But he's going to be looking good doing it there in that Barbie car. So there you have it, folks. That is the race, and here are your results. We have Otis Winston, like I said, bringing home the win in that number 27 LMP2, followed by Colin Heil, and bringing up the rear of the LMP2 squad is Ryan King. And then first place for the GT3 series, we have Matthew Reynolds, followed by Zachary Emil, and then Tyson Miller for third for the GT3s. And bringing home the win for the GT4s, we have Keaton Rossi, followed by Eric Reynolds. And bringing home the rear, we got Brian Witzig. Once again, everyone, thank you so much for joining this Tachycardia broadcast, and we hope to see you here next week at the